Good evening. It's that moment where we bring to you the Gorgeous Woman Show, and it's all about gorgeous women that have stories. They have not been defeated by what life has thrown at them. They've risen up and, cleaned off their dust and moved on with life. And as always, we are careful to bring to you some wonderful guests who have great stories. They will inspire you, they will empower you, they will challenge you to go to another level. And I'm Reverend Ruth Wamoyo, and as always, happy to be the host of Gorgeous Woman Show, live on CTN TV and on your online handles, wherever you're watching us from. Your feedback is important to us, and we truly appreciate. And above all, we want to remind you that CTN TV is 2 years old. We are celebrating a Thanksgiving dinner on the 13th of July at Move and Peak Hotel. It's a 5-star hotel. You only need to call the number on your screen, 0728316317, and you register yourself for the dinner. It's only 5K to tell God thank you. And of course, our main MC will be none other but Wahari, Auntie Wahari, Teacher Wanjiko. She'll be the MC of the day. We are so graced to have her. And above all, I will be here. And every gorgeous woman that want to have an interaction with us, with our hosts, you are most welcome for that. That is enough for me. I have a guest that is an awesome guest. You hear her story, it will touch you. And her name is none other but Fawzia. So you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're one lady that wears so many hats. You're a wife, you're a mother, you're an interior designer, you're an author, you're a model. My goodness, wearing all those hats is not an easy thing, and I've worn them enough times and I know how hard it is. Could you kindly introduce to us who you are?
My name is Fawzia, and like what Reverend had said, I'm a mother. That's for me comes priority number one. Mm-hmm. And I am a wife to an amazing husband.
Amen.
I thank God for him.
Yeah.
And I'm an author.
Yes.
I do inspirational speaking. Mm-hmm. I do coaching as well for young girls. Mm-hmm. And
All one package in one.
Yes. But the rest is a little bit more like hobbies and fashion and passion.
Yeah. So where do you come from originally?
I'm original from Tiribe in Kwale County.
Uh-huh.
And I grew up there. Mm-hmm. I was born there. I was born from a broken family. Mm-hmm. My parents, they were not married. Mm-hmm. And I grew up with my grandmothers. Mm-hmm. When my mom gave me when I was 3 years, she gave me to her mom, to her own mom. Mm-hmm. And then I think when I was about the age of 7, my paternal grandmother came to take me in. Oh. She was instructed now by my dad to come and pick me up. Mm-hmm. And I stayed with her. I went to school. Mm-hmm. I stayed with her until I finished primary school. Mm-hmm. And then I went to a school in Ukambani.
Oh, Ukambani, mm-hmm. All the way from Kwale.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, so what's the brief? Your story, I read it in your book. It's about being married early. Mm-hmm. And all those things that you've gone through. Mm-hmm. Could you just share in brief what you really went through in a summary?
Well, I think I always look at it as growing up without my parents was not easy.
Yep.
And for me, I always felt like there was something missing in me. Yeah. And I sort of, we are children. Yeah. We kind of compare our journeys to the other people because you don't know better.
Yes, true.
And, when you are living in an environment where you are constantly reminded that you are there by mistake, then it sort of does something with you. Yeah. You become, you get to have a lot of questions. You ask God, how could I be on this earth, but I'm told that I'm here by mistake?
Yes, true.
And I always look at it as, the power of words. Yeah. Because what we tell our children, what we tell people around us, sometimes unconsciously we don't realize, but it does something to that person. Great. So for me, I would say emotionally it wasn't easy. Mm-hmm. Because you feel like you are not wanted. Okay. Even if people are there supporting you, but if you are told, all these kind of things, you are like, you don't feel belonging. The sense of belonging is not there. There is no love. Well,
so the highlight is like you are rejected by your parents.
Not really rejected,
Yeah,
but
or
it's
abandoned. How would you say it?
How can I put it? They have been there, but differently. It's like me, the way I'm there for my child now, I'm there.
Yeah.
And you know, it's interesting because every time I speak, I say, it's not about what you do for your children.
Yeah.
You need to love them.
It's true.
And you can be there, but you're not there physically. But you might be there and you are there. So for me, I think I didn't felt like I was loved.
I get you.
I felt that I didn't belong.
Oh, great. Amen. Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a story. My viewer, don't touch that there because the story is going to get really intense because it's a story of how God can lift you from the dust and you know, take you to the mountaintop. And God is able to do that. You can't give up on your life. I'll see you after the break as we hear the story. Yeah, you're welcome back. It's good to have you around. So, your mother was not around, you know, raising you. She was not physically and emotionally present. So can you probably describe to us so that we can understand what really made her leave you behind? Or why were you at your grandmother's house?
Well, because my parents, they were not married.
Okay.
You know, I was that child who was conceived.
Yeah, out of wedlock.
Yes, I was conceived out of wedlock. And
how old was your mom?
I can't remember because she had other, she had
she had other kids.
Yes.
Okay.
And, you know, these are stories that I was told later on when I was writing my book because I had a lot of questions, what really happened.
Yes.
And she said she had to do it at that moment because of the circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
So she conceived me, and I was told that she went to my dad's side, but she was rejected.
Oh.
Yeah, so then she had to come back to her own parents. And it was not easy for her either.
Oh, yeah.
So she gave birth to me, and then she packed. She went to Mombasa.
Wow, to look for a job.
Yes, and then I don't know, tried to put her life together, I think, and I don't know if she had another love at that certain point. It wasn't very clear. And that's
how many of your siblings were older than you?
Two.
Two?
Yeah.
Any more after you?
One more. Yeah.
One more after you?
No, two more.
Two more after you?
Yeah.
So how is your relationship with your mother now?
My relationship with mom, I've really built it up.
Yes.
Because I'm a mom myself.
Yes.
And I realized that sometimes we women, we do things because of the circumstances that they bound us at that moment.
Yeah.
And I was very angry because, you know, I used to wonder, what she could have just kept me, you know, whatever the situation was. Yeah. But then she told me that it was not in her own power. And she had to move on also with her life. Okay. You see, so she had to do it because of the circumstances at that time. And now I have built up the relationship with her. We don't really have that. The relationship I have with my 9-year-old is different than the relationship I have with my mom. Yeah. You know, but she's a beautiful woman. Yes, she is. And and we talked a lot. And she said, it is what it was. Yeah. Sometimes she feels guilty. Yeah. But you cannot do anything with the past. So now how can we move on from that, you know, to...
So what was it like in your grandmother's house? What are those memories that when you remember, they make you feel pain? They make you feel like, I wish it was different.
I used to be beaten, which I don't think it's a new thing. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, I talk about this because this is something that a lot of kids go through. Yeah. And I think sometimes we parents, guardians, we react on those young children around us because of our own frustration maybe. Yeah. And I thank God for my grandparents because if it weren't for them, you know, well,
you would not have been raised.
Yeah, it could have, maybe the situation
different.
would have been different, you see. So I always thank God for that, but it wasn't easy, you know. And if you are told that, oh, you are here by mistake, you know.
Oh, they used to verbally tell you
yes,
that?
No, those words I used to be told, and I'm not ashamed to say about it because it was painful. But you know, when you are young, you quite don't realize. So for me, I started to understand when I was about 12, 13 years old, because now you are growing, you know, and you question, you ask, but you don't have, you ask yourself,
but you can't ask the person who is aggressive.
Yes, so for me that was a challenge, because I felt like they were trusted for me to be in there. So for them to say, you know, this kind of words, it was a little bit confusing for me as a child at that moment. And it wasn't easy, but I thank God that I had a mom.
In quotes.
Yes.
So what happened when you now matured into a girl? Is there anybody who walked through the journey with you? Did your grandma walk with you about your monthly periods and everything?
No, I didn't have those. And you know, it's interesting that now I'm working with these girls with this sanitation program that I've started, because when I got my first period, hata sikuwa najua ni nini. I remember I was in school and I started bleeding and I was like, okay, what's going on here?
I know.
And I remember, because I was at school, so then I told one of the girls we were close with, and she gave me an handkerchief to put on my panty. But then I was like, okay. But then I really thank God it was not a lot of bleeding, because that was like, I think I was about 15, or so. I was a bit late with my period, 15, 16 around that moment. And then she told me, now, when you go home, take a piece of cloth, uweke kwa suruari, alafu uvae.
Wow, she was a good friend.
She
was a good friend.
You know, and I didn't know that this is normal for girls to get.
You must have been scared.
The first blood I saw, I thought maybe something was wrong with me internally, honestly.
And did you share with your grandma? Or?
No, I didn't. I mean, where do I even start from?
Oh, goodness.
But then I think later she saw, because I had my vitambara, I had washed them, and then I had hung them somewhere, and then I think she saw that. Yeah,
and actually somehow life teaches you how to survive.
Yes.
So what level of education did you achieve at that time?
I went all the way to primary school. Yeah.
And secondary school?
Secondary school also.
Okay.
Yes.
In the same place?
No. So when I finished high school, I didn't get the best results. So then I had an opportunity to get a place in Kani Lions. Yeah.
That's where you completed your from 1 to 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah, great. So I'm trying to know, how then did it transit to marriage, to an early marriage, or did you have an early marriage experience?
No, I didn't had an early marriage. For me, it was my own choice.
Your own choice.
Yeah, it was my own choice. I was already actually working at that time, and we had courted for at least 2 years with my son's dad.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my own choice. Was not the best choice. For my family. Yeah. Which caused a lot of division.
How old were you?
I was 25.
25. That's good age.
24, 25.
That's really good age. Oh, great. Yeah. So why was it not a good choice for your family? Because you see, Reverend, people have expectations. We parents, and when I say we, because I'm a mom myself now, we have a lot of expectations. You know, you've been born, you are being raised, you go to school, you go to this, you get married. So if you do things slightly different, then you become different. Okay. You know, you become a different. And for me, it was not easy because my husband, he's Dutch. Okay. So it was really extreme, really extreme. It was not expected part of my society and part of my culture. I thought they would rejoice suddenly there's a Muzungu. No. Oh. No. Why is that? Because he's not part of the community. Yeah. It wasn't expected. So it wasn't easy. Yeah. Because I got all the labels left, center. I was cast out. I was like literally cut off. By who? By my parents. And your family? Yeah, by my family, in short, yeah. Just because of getting married to somebody who is not of your race?
Yes.
Okay, so what are the things you heard from them? What did they say? What was the explanation?
You are a prostitute?
Jesus.
Yes, because, you know, I think, and it's very hard, I think, the way we judge people, you know, and he's European. He's not a Digo from where I come from. He has different culture, different beliefs. It's totally different things. And there I was, you see, and it was a big thing.
Yeah.
Really big problem that the family had to come together, and my dad wasn't happy.
So your dad now had come into your life?
No, my dad was in the life.
In and out.
Yes, life, he's been there. He's taken care of me on his own way. Because I never stayed with them, with him and his wife, but he's been there. He supported me in his own way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what really transpired at that time? How did you meet him?
My husband.
Yeah, because I would be curious as well, because if your community was not comfortable with it, then it tells you that they were not there's a part of you that they did not journey with you. So they did not get to interact with the people you interacted with.
Yeah, because I didn't grow up with my family.
Yes.
You know, when I left Kwale, I went to a boarding school, and then I would during school holidays I would go stay with my stepmom, and then I would go back to school, and then when I finished high school I was sent back to Mombasa, and then I fought. I got an opportunity to go to college, so I went to college, and immediately when I finished my college, I started working. I started working in Seasons Hotel. Okay. And then I was a waitress. I actually had gone in for an internship, but then they had an opportunity for someone to chip in for waitress. So I got that, and then I felt like it was more like a club thing. I felt like this doesn't feel safe for myself, so I quitted. Without even having another job. So this is something nobody should actually do, because you do things because of pressure on yourself, and at home you are told, you know, people who work on those kind of things, you know, they end up being prostitutes and all those kind of things. So there was always an internal war for myself. But then I quitted my job because I wasn't happy, and then I started working at Panari.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's in Panari that I met my husband. He had come for what? He was with Kenya Airways. So they had come for meetings and all those things. Yeah.
Oh, great. And one thing led to another.
One thing led to another, but the irony of this story was he left.
Okay.
Because he had come for orientation, and then he went back. But then, you know, we kept communicating, and he even said to me, the day I will come back to Kenya, I would love to see you. And he disappeared for 6 months. And then he came back, and then he told me that I'm back in Kenya.
Wow.
But I was not working at that time. So then he called me, and he said, oh, I'm back. I said, okay, but I'm not at work. But then I have my own principles, and because growing up I was always told that if you're not careful, you're gonna end up be like your mom, you know, giving birth to you without weddings, you know, all those kind of things, without this, without that. So I was very conscious, you know, and I just didn't want to get into a relationship or get into something that I wasn't sure of. But sometimes I really think, even my friends say that, you know, sometimes God uses people. It's true. You know, and for me, I felt like, I just felt like he was not this kind of person who, you know, you hear a lot of stories of these people coming here and doing crazy things. But my husband, he's a humble man, and he's a man of God.
He's a man of God. Wow, he pastors?
No, he doesn't pastor, but he knows God.
He knows God.
Yes.
Oh, great. Good to hear.
So, and we knew each other for at least 2 years before we took now the matter, you know, to the family. To the family. And that's when it became now like a mess.
Wow. We are here to hear about that mess, and don't touch that dial, because it doesn't matter how hard life can be. There's always a turning around when God is involved. This is a gorgeous woman we are talking to. And if you're a gorgeous woman there, come on, cheer up, because greater is he that is in you than the one that is in the world. See you after the break. Well, you're welcome back, our viewer. I'm talking to Fawzia. Fawzia, great. What's your other name?
Fawzia Belts.
Ooh, beautiful. So that must be the name of your husband.
Yes, correct.
You said when you were going for a break that after now 2 years you dated, when you went to your parents, hell broke loose.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about that?
It was not expected.
Yes.
I was expected to marry a man.
A Digo man.
Yeah. You know, a Muslim man, I think.
Yeah. You are Muslim. You were raised a Muslim.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was not expected.
Yes.
And then it became a problem.
So now you go with him. Did you go with him or you first?
No, I didn't go with him. I went with my uncle.
Yeah.
And one of my parents' friend.
Yeah.
You know, so we did it really the African way.
The African way.
And the iron about it is it's because I got the blessings from my parent before later on to be told that no, this relationship is not accepted in the fammy.
Oh,
yeah.
Now I get the conflict.
You get it now.
Yeah,
right?
you come from a Muslim background. Adigo, here comes another, he's from a different race, a different religion.
Different everything.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So when he comes home, what were some of the reactions that you got from family and friends?
Well, it's
in your village, in your community.
That was here in Nairobi, actually.
It was here in Nairobi?
Yes, that was here in Nairobi because my dad lives here in Nairobi.
Okay.
Yes. It's what can I say?
Yeah.
It wasn't a shock, but it was more like you've embarrassed the family.
Wow.
Yeah. You've embarrassed the family, you know, I think it's also that perception that every girl, you know, in a different relationship, especially this kind of mixed intercultural relationship, yeah. People label you as a prostitute.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's awful.
Yes, it is.
Because it's not like I met my husband in Koinange Street. No. Yeah. This was a ground, a pure love.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a lot of confusion. And the fact that I got the blessings and then a week later I'm called, you are like, no, this is not acceptable.
We have changed our minds.
Exactly, that's what I was told. We've changed our minds. And I was like, okay, you've changed your mind. Okay, thank you.
So how did your husband, you know, now then your fiancé react?
Yeah, to him it was like,
of course.
Why? You know, like, you know, I think also, you know, living with him, going out with him, I sort of started learning new things.
Yeah.
And, you know, with other people, with other cultures, the European cultures, they would expect that parents would uphold their children and support their decisions, support them, you know. And sometimes even when kids do really crazy, make wrong choices in life, they respect that.
I think they're raised to be independent.
They are raised to be independent,
yeah,
yes.
But sometimes in an African setting, you're raised to be dependent.
You are raised to be dependent. So to him, it was like, okay.
I didn't come to seek for approval. I just wanted to let you know.
You to know exactly. Exactly. So it was tough.
So what are some of the absurd things that you heard from your community about him?
You know, because then the matter went back to Kwale.
Yeah.
And my mom told me that she was called in, her and her mother, for the meeting now. And literally, you know, my father's side now, they said, we don't want anything to do with Fawzia. She's all yours.
You are disowned?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. And that was painful.
For them, I can imagine.
That was really hard.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So have they revoked that or it's still standing?
I don't believe in curses.
Yeah.
Personally. I don't.
Yeah.
And I refused to believe in it. Because I don't know. I just feel like God, I don't know. I just feel like...
I'll put it from a biblical perspective.
Yeah.
Proverbs 26:2 says that a curse without a cause is like a bird that is trying to move around and look for a place to perch. If it has nowhere to perch, then a curse without a cause is like that. And so because at the end of it all, we would look at it this way. You only got married to the love of your life, but probably because of the culture and religion, that formed the basis of them disowning you.
Yes.
So what are the boundaries that were placed for you in that disowning?
Well, I'm not allowed to, to go. This is not what I was told by my mom, that she's been told to tell me that she's all mine now, I'm all hers now, I'm not allowed to go home. Even if there is anything, I shouldn't be informed. I am not part of the family.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how did that make you feel?
It was painful. I was very much pretty depressed.
I can imagine.
But I thank God for my husband now. He was there. And he told me that he supported me. He said, you see, in this life sometimes you will get into situations where you cannot really have answers or you cannot actually fully understand. But at the end of the day, we all are born with our own choices to make as well. And it may be different the way it's expected because we parents have expectations. But then what is it that I really want now? Me, Fawzia.
Let me just ask you this, because you seem to carry a different spirit. Because I've seen ladies, if the father, mother, everybody said no, they would walk away and say, because you're also not very sure whether this guy really loves you, and now you've lost your family, and you know the way with the African setting, the way we are intertwined with our family. What is so unique about your husband that made you take that risk?
He loved me.
Wow.
He loved me for who I am. And he told me, I don't marry you for who you are, for where you come from. I love you for who you are.
Wow.
And for me, that gave me that assurity that this is not the wrong things. And we've been together 12 years now.
12 years. Oh, good.
10 years anniversary this year.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Wow.
And I really, you know what actually kept me going? Let me just be real here. It's because I looked at my own way of being birthed.
Yeah.
I was told that I was a sinful child because of the way I was given birth.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was supposed to be married, with similar someone from where I come from.
Oh, somebody
to sanctify myself. And that was really, that was contradicting. And I remember my grandmother said, that the mother of my mom, she was very upset actually. She said, like, how can she be all this, when it was not her own issue? Because, we parents do our own things and then we push that blame to our children. But I was not the victim. I am not the sin. I am the product of the sin.
Wow.
So how can I be a sin now?
So that is something you grew up knowing, that you are a sin?
I was told,
sinful child?
Yeah, because
you need another sinner. You need another sinner to live with
nje ya ndoa. Si we ni mtoto.
Oh my goodness. So kimila ulistahili kuolewa na mtu mwingine pia alizaliwa nje ya ndoa?
Mtu waninio wa culture yenye nafuanana, vitu zenye zinafuanana ndio ukue sanctified. Well, that's what I was told. So, but I don't know if it's if it's okay, if it's true or not. But for me, what really the conviction that I kept on having was because if all I'm told, I'm a prostitute, I'm this and all that, then let me just move on with my life.
I know. Wow. I must confess you're a strong woman, because it takes a strong woman at heart to withstand a whole community, to withstand your family, and go for what your heart really loves. It
was painful.
Yeah, it must have been painful.
But, here I am today, and that's why sometimes I talk about these things so that other people, can get the courage for themselves. And this is not an issue of, different religion or different cultures. These, I think, are just contradiction from families.
Wow. So did they come for your wedding? Or?
No.
They did not?
No. My mother came.
Oh, your mother came?
With her sisters and my stepbrothers, they came. But from the other side, no. But I felt like it was okay for me. I knew what I was doing. And it's, you know, some people, they always, you know, have this mentality that, oh, labda ni kwa sababu anamuoa sababu ya pesa. You know, people think all these kind of things. But no.
Definitely. Not everybody who is white has money.
Exactly. But you see, a lot of people, they don't see it like that. And
yeah,
that's
money
why
does not respond to color.
Exactly.
Yeah, and not everybody who is black is looking
poor.
for money.
Exactly,
poor, yeah.
exactly. But these are the perception that people have towards certain things, certain settings in life.
I know.
And I call it poverty mentality.
Yes, it is.
I really call it poverty mentality, honestly, because we judge.
Yes,
we judge things without even us getting really to understand, getting to know the real stories, you know. But for my own journey, I really believe that, you know, God has used my husband, you know, for whatever it is. And here I am now that I've been able to write the book and encourage other women.
Come to think of it, now when you got your baby, and you can imagine all the traditions about, you know, naming the baby, about, you know, who the baby resembles and all that. You know, the drama that goes around a newborn baby.
Yes.
Did you have controversy around that when your baby was
born?
My
baby, Reverend, my baby, my rules, my decision.
My baby, my choice.
My choice.
Okay.
And I chose.
Yeah.
And the reason why I chose not to name him after anybody was because I didn't want to have these vagabond things to carry on.
Oh, wow.
My own way of thinking.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, for me, the way you name, everyone's character is different.
Yes, true.
And sometimes I'm like, if the people who should take me, you know, like the way the birds cover their cheeks or whatever, is it cheeks or whatever, they are telling me all these kind of things. Why do I want to name my child to these people?
So do they come to visit the baby, or your mom probably alone came?
My mom, yeah.
Okay.
This woman now, she's been there for me because she also felt the pain of, you know, of what was happening. And she said there is nothing she can do.
Yeah.
But I said to her, don't feel the victim here because this has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
This is Fawzia's life.
It is true.
I have decided, I have made the decision, don't be involved. Just, there is a curse, I don't believe in it, and it's not going to do anything.
So they never reach out to you at all?
No.
Wow.
Only getting messages that I'm going to die and go to hell.
From who?
From some family members.
They've not left you alone.
No. But it doesn't break me because I know God loves me.
He does.
I really feel that there is this conviction that God chose me, you know, for I don't know for what purpose, for what reason.
This is the purpose and you're living it.
You know, and I really feel that all things works together sometimes for good.
So at what point did you transit from being Muslim or to Christian, or are you still Muslim and married to a Christian, or what is your spiritual life like?
I love God.
You love God?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't subscribe to any religion or anything?
I go to church.
You go to church?
I do, yeah.
You go to church?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Glory to God. And that's enough for us.
Yeah.
Wow, our viewer, this is a story that is so dramatic. You can imagine all the turns of this life. And some of the things that can bring you down is what has made her so strong and so powerful. It tells you that as long as God is with you, the curses of men, the words of men have no power over you. See you after the break as we wind up. Oh, great. You're welcome back, our viewer, and we are having this wonderful story. My goodness, it can never be better. So, Fawzia, you also now wrote a book.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the book and what is in the book?
So, Rising from the Dust, A Woman's Journey to Self-Discovery it's my personal journey.
Yeah.
you know, I don't see it as a memoir, but I more look at it as the small incidences of things that I've gone through in life, and I've put them together so that I can inspire and encourage other people.
Wow.
Yeah, because I feel like sometimes we need to be reminded that it doesn't matter where you come from.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what has been said about you.
Yes.
It doesn't matter your background. These things really don't matter.
Yes.
You know, because at the end of the day, it's our destiny. We all know that it's in God's hands.
It's true. And our humanness is common.
It's, yes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you come from and what race you're in and all that. Great.
So, yeah. And it's all the little incidences, scenarios that I've gone through in, you know, in my 30 plus years of life.
Oh goodness, congratulations.
You see?
That is something to thank God for.
I thank God every day.
Yeah.
Because it's not that I'm special, that I'm here, but I know it's by God's grace.
It's true, because when looking at your story, I see a story of grace. And
grace,
God's mercy and favor upon you, because there's still many people that are where you are, and they're still stuck there.
True.
You were telling me of a story of some girls that you were visiting over the weekend, and the story about how you have even 13-year-olds who have children and all that. And look at you where you are. You have a choice.
I have a choice.
I believe the purpose of the Gorgeous Woman show is to make sure that every woman has an option. That when you listen to the story like yours, they can see if she went through it and overcame, then I can overcome also.
True.
But I'm interested now. Now you go to him with him to Holland. What was the reaction there?
Oh, my parents-in-law, they took me in like their own child.
Oh,
and I remember when I stepped in there, they said, you are as our own daughter,
how nice.
As my sister-in-law. And I wondered, I said, if these white people, they can love me like this, why can't my own family love me and accept me for who I am, for my wrong choices, for my decisions, for everything? That was it's like I had like a turning point.
Wow.
Yeah. And I saw God's love through these people.
They just embraced you. They didn't care about anything.
No. Because to them, they didn't care about all what has been said. And my husband is a very honest man. He's very straightforward. He says it as it is.
So he narrated everything.
Yes. But they said, she's our own.
Wow.
And they took me in, and I really thank God for my parents-in-law. They are all resting now.
Oh.
Yeah, my mother-in-law passed away in March. Oh. But I cannot regret zero, because the love they have shown me, it's God's love.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing to hear.
Yeah.
So it's like God allowed you to be compensated.
Absolutely.
I think looking at your life, I can see somebody's path that was charted by God, and you're just like living the script. Because
you know,
it looks amazing.
Sometimes I look at myself, I'm like, how did I get from where to here? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. And that's why I don't take anything for granted. Because every gift, everything, it's a gift from God. And it's only Him who gives.
Amen.
And I thank God for God. I really thank God. I love God.
So what is that inner, where do you get your inner strength from? From when you were young until now? Because you carry a different spirit. Because many people that have gone through what you've gone through, they have a way attitude, like they have a pity party mentality.
Now that's the mistake people do. You feel sorry. Yeah. You're like, oh, Washe, oh, so no, come on, get out of this pitfall. Yeah. This is what I say to other women, really. And this is not about this interracial marriage. Is it interracial marriage, or how do you call it?
Yeah, interracial,
no, there's other people who are marrying African to African, or, you know, German to German, you know, whatever. No, there is a book in everyone. Yeah. But I think if we stand, know that no matter what storm we'll face, God is in this fire with us. Yeah. We can withstand anything.
So your faith in God has been
my faith in God has been number one thing for me. And when I say that, it's because I had moments in my life where, you know, when the world looks black,
I know,
and you just want to sleep,
I know,
and not to wake up.
I know.
I had days where I just wanted earth to open and I just go in because I felt so ashamed of myself.
I know.
It was not easy. But then I realized there is this book I read from Rick Warren.
Yeah.
You know, Purposeful Life,
Yeah.
Purpose-Driven Life. Yeah. And he says there are no illegitimate. There are no illegitimate children.
Oh, yeah.
There are illegitimate parents, but there are no illegitimate children.
Oh, yeah.
And God does not do anything by mistake.
He does not.
Everything he does, he chooses to.
Yes, he does.
And he loves.
Amen.
And he purposely ordains things to happen sometimes for our own good, yes, for his own glory. And so for me, I look at I was not this kind of a woman.
I know.
But I have chose to be strong because what kind of a parent do I want my son to be? You know, what values, what do I need for Jasper to see? You know, and I look at him, I want to be a good role model for Jasper, for my son. And I cannot be sitting worrying for the curses, for this, come on, this was in 2009, 2008.
Yeah.
It's 2019. What am I doing now?
I know.
You know, and this is, I know it's not easy, but I think the mistake we do sometimes as women, I'm going to talk of us women here, because we have this tendency. Yeah. We feel so sorry. We feel sad. There is no time. The reason why God chose you to be a woman, it's because you are strong.
Oh, yeah.
You are powerful. And you cannot be broken. We women don't break. We can only bend.
Oh,
we cannot be broken.
You can say that again. We don't break.
We don't.
We only bend.
We only
rise up again.
And it's up to us now to carry that flag, to carry that cross, and be that woman of Proverbs 31.
Amen. My goodness.
Make that choice.
Yes.
You cannot be living, you know, feeling sorry for what people have said. Come on. Use that now for your own knowledge. What can you learn from all these things? Oh, yeah. And those are the decisions that I had. Of course, going through depression, I had a coach.
Oh, yeah.
You know, who walked through me with this journey. But I had to make the decision for myself and say, okay, enough has been said. But who do I call myself? And what does God say I am? Because, you know, we can all look around what have been said about us, but who do we call ourselves? And what does God say we are?
So at what point did you, mentioning of depression, what was your lowest moment?
When I was trying to reconcile with my family and I was told no from the other side of the family.
Wow.
I was told my mother is the one to fix my mess. So, you know, when you're trying to reconcile and then you are told these kind of things, you are like, okay.
And these are people you grew up knowing they were your parents?
Yeah.
And then you face rejection again?
Yeah.
Wow.
This was 2012 was the lowest for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But then that was my turning point.
Amen.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that the word of God says that in Isaiah 43, that even though we go through fire, it shall not consume us. No. That though we go through the floods, the waters shall not engulf us.
No.
I think looking at you is a true testimony of what God can do. And thank you for choosing to come to the Gorgeous Woman Show.
Thank you.
You may not be aware, probably we may not even take count of the many women that you've inspired, but thank you for being so open and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
And I pray that somebody will be inspired by your story. I will kindly ask you to look into that camera and just in 1 minute, just challenge a girl to rise up to the occasion and not die where they are.
Dear girls, women, wherever you are, wherever you feel like you are stuck, you feel like there is no hope, there is no future, I want to tell you something, that you can start from where you are and rise to where you are destined to be. Don't live this life feeling pity, feeling sorry for what, even if you've done something that really you think that it's wrong, learn from that and get out of it. Pick the good things and leave the bad and move on. And above all, pray. Because this life without prayer, I don't know, where would I be?
Wow.
Where would I be? So please, I cannot say this enough, Reverend, because there's so many girls, women out there who are suffering, and I take it so to heart.
Yeah.
So wherever you are watching, please know that you are loved, and you have the power. Keep going and don't give up. Amen. You have everything that it takes. And even if you don't have anything, you've got God to lean on. I do that. When the going gets hard, I know where to go.
Amen.
Because I know He's got my back.
Amen.
You have that. Even when you have nothing, you have God.
Amen.
And that's the most important thing. Amen. So rise. Come on. We can do this.
Glory
we are
to
women.
God. Amen. I love the way you say it with conviction. And viewers, if you want to get her book, is Rising from the Dust. Is a woman's journey to self-discovery. If you need a book, you can actually call the number on your screen, and you can actually go to her website, which is
www.fawziabelts.com.
Oh yeah, once again,
www.fawziabelts.com.
Yeah, you can order for that book. From us and the CTN family is God bless you. Thank you for watching. Make sure you encourage another woman next door. You never know. Your story is the reason why they are living. God bless you.